Hi everyone! So we come now to the Module 6, Gearing Up for the Future Curriculum, Lesson 6.1, Reforms for Basic Education Curriculum. I am Political Teacher Values, your presenter. Here is the desired learning outcome is to gain comprehensive understanding of the K-12 basic education curriculum reform. Curriculum designers need to enhance the curriculum and propose curricular innovations to respond to the changing educational landscape in the country as well as in other parts of the globe. It is most necessary that as a future curricularist and a teacher, you should be familiar with what is happening and will happen in our curriculum. There is no substitute for being ready and informed. Innovation involves the introduction of something new and curriculum that deviates from the standard practice, often because of society has changed and so must the curriculum. To meet these changes, innovations are created. Curriculum innovation, where teachers design learning experiences by experimenting with the curriculum and instruction, is an influential process. From a postmodern standpoint, learning is seen as being unique to an individual, requiring connections that are wholly different in each person's case. Hence, teachers' active experimentation during curriculum innovation become influential opportunities because they create unique learning trajectories and therefore become embedded teacher learning spaces. An innovation must fit with the goals and objectives of education, which usually reflect the needs, interests, values, and problems of the society. An innovation must be appropriate, economical of terms of time, space, resources, and be aligned with the philosophy of the society and the school and rooted in sound educational theory. Curriculum designers need to enhance their recommended curriculum and propose curricular innovations to respond to the changing landscape in education regionally and globally. Are you aware of some curricular reforms in the Philippines and other countries? Republic Act 10533, otherwise known as the Enhanced Basic Education Act of 2013, is the latest educational reform in Philippine education signed into law by President Benigno Aquino III last May 15, 2013. It is an act system enhancing the Philippine basic education system by strengthening its and increasing the number of years for basic education, appropriating funds therefore and for other purposes. Implementing rules and regulations of the Enhanced Basic Education Act of 2013, pursuant to Section 16 of Republic Act Number 10533, entitled an act enhancing the Philippine basic education system by strengthening its curriculum and increasing the number of years for basic education, appropriating funds therefore and for other purposes, otherwise known as the Enhanced Basic Education Act of 2013, approved on May 15, 2013, which took effect on June 8, 2013 by the Department of Education, the Commission on Higher Education, and the Technical Education and Skills Development Authority, or TESDA, hereby issue the following rules and regulations to implement the provisions of the Act, Republic Act Number 10533, otherwise known as the Enhanced Basic Education Act of 2013, has expanded the years of schooling in basic education from 10 years to 12 years. RA 10533 mandated the Department of Education to formulate programs to enact the above-mentioned provision of the law. The Enhanced Basic Education Act of 2013, popularly known as K-12, includes 1 year of kindergarten education, 6 years of elementary education, and 6 years of secondary education. This 6 year secondary education includes 4 years of junior high school and 2 years of senior high school. With K 12, the existing 10 years of basic education is increased to 12 years with kindergarten education as a prerequisite to entry in grade 1. Why K 12? K 12 makes the Philippine education system at par with the international standard of 12-year basic education, thereby contributing to a better educated society capable of pursuing productive employment, entrepreneurship, or higher education studies. After going through kindergarten, elementary, junior high, and the specialized senior high school program, every K-12 graduate is ready to go into different paths: higher education, middle-level skills development, employment, or entrepreneurship. The K-12 graduates are also expected to be equipped with 21st century skills like information, media and technology skills, learning and innovation skills, effective communication skills, and life career skills. So K-12 is an education system under the Department of Education that aims to enhance learners' basic skills, produce more competent citizens, and prepare graduates for lifelong learning and employment. K stands for kindergarten, and 12 refers to the succeeding 12 years of basic education. So at present, the Philippines is the last country in Asia and one of only 3 countries in the world with a 10-year pre-university program. The K-12 program offers a decongested 12-year program that gives students sufficient time to master skills and absorb basic competencies. Also, students of the new system will graduate at the age of 18 and will be ready for employment, entrepreneurship, middle-level skills development, and higher education upon graduation. The new curriculum gives students the chance to choose among 3 tracks, which are the academic, technical vocational livelihood, and sports and arts, and undergo immersion, which provides relevant exposure and actual experience in their chosen track. When K-12 was launched in 2012, many Filipinos were apprehensive because of the addition of 2 more years in secondary schooling. Some said the additional 2 years are added burden for the average Filipino family. Others said the K-12 program is doomed to fail since it does not address the basic problems in education, like lack of classrooms, chairs, books, teachers, quality teaching, and many more. Amidst criticisms, the Department of Education pushed for the K-12 implementation. What could be the reasons? So many years ago, the Philippines was only the country in Southeast Asia which provided just 10 years of basic education to its population, but ever since the K-12 implementation, the country has joined its neighbors in adopting an education system which will provide more opportunities to students on a global scale. Continued reform in the education sector is essential, but with the K-12 program, this has put the country on the right track. When people heard news of the K-12 program implementation in the country, it received mixed reactions. Suddenly, there was a combination of backlashes and praise in the background, with the stunts left puzzles on whose voice to listen to. There are still changes and challenges and standards of quality to consider, but the important thing is to establish that development is present as a result of the new program. RA 10157, or the Kindergarten Education Act of 2012, declares that it shall be the policy of the state to provide equal opportunities for all children to avail of accessible mandatory and compulsory kindergarten education. The Enhanced Basic Education Act establishes the Enhanced Basic Education Program, which espouses the following objectives. First is give every student an opportunity to receive quality education that is globally competitive based on pedagogically sound curriculum that is at par with international standards. Second is to broaden the goals of high school education for college preparation, vocational and technical career opportunities, as well as creative arts, sports, and entrepreneurial employment in a rapidly changing and increasingly globalized environment. And third is to make education learner-oriented and responsive to the needs, cognitive and cultural capacity, the circumstances and diversity of learners, schools, and communities through the appropriate languages of teaching and learning, including the mother tongue as a learning source. Let's consider these existing realities in Philippine education that became the basis of the K-12 implementation. So first is mastery of basic competencies is insufficient due to congested curriculum. The table in the next slide presents the National Achievement Test results of fourth-year students in math and science. In 2005 to 2006, mathematics results, only 15% of the students acquired mastery the mathematics competencies, while majority, with 59.9% of the high school students, belonged to the low mastery level. The achievement results in science were even more discouraging since only 3% of the four-year high school students in 2005 to 2006 mastered the science processes, and skills majority belonged to the low mastery category and a few were in the near mastery level. In this presentation, it is shown at the table the comparative achievement levels in mathematics and science in school year 2004 to 2005 and 2005 to 2006. For the comparative achievement levels in mathematics, in the first column is the achievement level classified into mastery, new mastery, and low mastery, wherein the number of mastery in school year 2004 to 2005 is 168,371, and the percentage is 16.41%, while in 2005 to 2006, the number is 149,922 and the percentage is 15.21%. While the number of new mastery in school year 2004 to 2005 significantly increased with a total number of 321,305 with a percentage of 31.31%, while the number of new mastery in school year 2004 to 2005 significantly increased with a total number of 321,305 with a percentage of 31.31%, and in year 2005 to 2006 it has 253,396 with a percentage of 25.71%. And lastly, we come now to the low mastery level, which also significantly increased in 2 school years with a total number of 536,439 with a percentage of 52.28% and 582,436 with a percentage of 59.09%. So therefore, the total number in school year 2004 to 2005 is 1,026,115 with a percentage of 100%. In international examinations, the Philippines performed poorly as revealed in 2003 TIMSS, or Trends in International Mathematics and Science Scores. In grade 4 Science and Math, the Philippines ranked 23 out of 25 participating countries. In high school 2 Science, the Philippines ranked 43 out of 46, and in Math, ranked 34 out of 38. Even with the science high schools participating in the advanced mathematics category in 2008 TIMMS, the country's ranking did not improve. In fact, it ranked the lowest among 10 participating countries. One of the factors that contribute to the low performance in achievement tests is the congested basic education and curriculum. What other countries teach in 12 years, the Philippines teach only in 10 years. The 10 years would not be enough to master the competencies. Adding 2 years would make possibly the decongestion of the curriculum for comprehensive acquisition of basic competencies and the 21st century skills. The Philippines is the only remaining country in Asia with a 10-year basic education program. The Philippines is the only country in Asia that has a 10-year basic education program. The short duration of the basic education program also puts millions of overseas Filipino workers, especially the professionals and those who intend to study abroad, at a disadvantage. Graduates of Philippine schools are not automatically recognized as professionals outside the country due to the lack of 2 years in basic education. Bologna Accord imposes 12 years of education for university admission and practice of profession in European countries. Washington Accord prescribes 12 years basic education as an entry to recognition of engineering professionals. The K-12 system aims to improve Filipino students' skills in mathematics, science, and linguistics to further exhibit competence in the global job market. With the new curriculum, the Department of Education promises to offer higher quality education through the strands. Each track will give the students enough time to master a field and enhance their skills in that respective industry, and by the end of the curriculum, K-12 graduates will be ready to become globally competitive and are set to obtain a spot in the meticulous labor market. With K-12, Filipino professionals would have the same competitive edge with professionals in other countries having gone through 12 years of basic education. By the way, the recommendation to improve and to lengthen the short basic education in the Philippines has been given since 1925. As one of the most well-studied reforms, recommendations of either adding or restoring 7th grade or adding an extra year to basic education have been put forward. In this table, in year 1925, from the source of Monroe Survey, their recommendation is training of graduate student in agriculture, commerce, and industry because secondary education did not prepare students for life. And in 1949, from UNESCO Mission Survey, their recommendation is the restoration of Grade 7 in Primary Education Act. And in year 1950, from Swanson Survey, they have no recommendation. And in year 1953, from Education Act, their recommendation is revising the primary school system by adding 1 year. Also, in year 1960, from Swanson Survey, their recommendation is restoring grade 7 in primary education. And in year 1970, from PCSPE, their recommendation is extending secondary education by 1 year to better prepare students who have new plans to take up university education. And in year 1991, from EdCom report, their recommendation is retaining the 10-year basic education phase while institutionalizing career counseling in primary and secondary schools in preparation for higher education. Also, in year 1998, from Philippine Education Sector Study or World Bank and ADB, the recommendation is prioritizing student learning through curricular reforms, the provision of textbooks, the use of the vernacular in lower primary grades, and the institution of a longer basic education cycle. Additionally, in year 2000, from PCER, the recommendation is implementing a compulsory 1-year pre-baccalaureate stage as prerequisite for students interested in enrolling in higher education degree programs. And in year 2006, from Philippine EFA 2015 National Action Plan, the recommendation is lengthening the educational cycle by adding 2 years to formal basic education for 1 year for primary and high school. And the last one is from year 2008, from Presidential Task Force on Education, the recommendation is extending pre-university education to a total of 12 years, benchmarking the content of the 11th and 12th years with international programs. One frequently asked question raised during the advocacy period for the K-12 curriculum was, Filipino students can do in 10 years what students in foreign countries do in 12 years. A number of our Filipino graduates who went through 10 years of basic education excel in studies as well as in their place of work abroad. Why add 2 years more? So this may be true, but for as long as the international standard 12 years of basic education, that will remain to be the standard and will apply to all, including brilliant and exceptional Filipino students and graduates. Most of the problems in the Philippines education system stem from a lack of funding, low teacher salaries, a shortage of classrooms, and lack of facilities such as laboratories. Additionally, there is a lack of educational equality between regions. Government policy tends to favor schools near Manila with regions farthest from the capital, such as Mindanao, showing lower levels of student performance. Despite these issues, the education system in the Philippines is still seen as one of the most developed in Asia. Rates of basic education completion, higher education participation, and adult literacy are comparable to far more developed economies in Hong Kong, Singapore, and South Korea. Like many other developing countries, one of the major problems in the Philippine education system is that of brain drain, which is the departure of talented students, graduates, and teachers to other countries, until the opportunities at home equal the number of skilled graduates coming out of the education system. This is a problem that looks set to continue. In fact, there are cases where our Filipino scholars with master's degrees who have to enroll in additional master's subjects before being allowed to pursue their doctorate degrees applied for. Why the additional master's subjects? The reason given is the short 10-year basic education in the Philippines. In other words, the Philippines has no choice but to comply with a 12-year basic education. In the first place, this has been a consistent recommendation of past surveys done on the Philippine educational system. We come now to the employability of Filipino high school graduates. So the K-12 curriculum prepares the students for the world of work, middle-level skills development, entrepreneurship, and college education. As early as grade 7 and grade 8, the student is made to explore at least 8 subjects in the 4 areas of technology and livelihood education, namely home economics, ICT, industrial arts, and agriculture and fishery arts. In grade 10 and grade 12, the student is supposed to have obtained a national certificate level 1 and NC level 2 from TESDA. NC1 and NC2 make a grade 12 graduate employable. The short duration of basic education in the Philippines resulted to 15-year-old graduates who are not legally employable. With the implementation of the K-12, the graduates of senior high is 18 years old who is legally employable. So, unlike the previous education system, K-12 offers more opportunities for employment and entrepreneurship. Many schools in the Philippines are slowly implementing this. Graduates of the new system can instantly get a job after you receive their certificates and passing competency-based assessments. On the other hand, they can set up their own business or continue their education in college. All the options will help every student to step up in improving their competence, skills, and professional characteristics. Getting a K-12 education can open new doors and increase the chance of finding a stable job. Students can get the opportunity to build a network, acquire more skills, and find the career that they really love. K-12 can get students the access to all these great opportunities and have a fulfillment during this learning experience. Obtaining a K-12 diploma will make students more likely to be hired because employers usually assumed that someone who completed the K-12 curriculum has the basic skills necessary for the job, have adequate communication skills, can get along with the rest of the team, and follow objectives like they are supposed to. So we come now to the K-12 curriculum. Section 5 of the Enhanced Basic Education Act of 2013 stipulates the following curricular standards which the curriculum developers adhered to in crafting the K-12 curriculum. First is the curriculum shall be learner-centered, inclusive, and developmentally appropriate. So K-12 as a student-centered curriculum can influence the students to take a more active role in the learning process, with the freedom and flexibility to choose what they will learn, how they will learn, and how they can evaluate your own learning. This would be a way to teach them about independence and how to be a reliable member of a team. Not only will this make a learning very enjoyable and easier for students, it will also help address diverse needs, which include special cases and those that come from indigenous groups, which make this education system very inclusive for everyone. The second one is the curriculum shall be relevant, responsive, and research-based. So it is based on learning theories, principles, sound research, ad studies, and teaching and learning dynamics. The third one is the curriculum shall be culture sensitive, which means that the instruction must respect the cultural identities of the learners. Fourth one is the curriculum shall be contextualized and global. Relevant, appropriate, and responsive curriculum will only become a reality if it puts a premium on the personal, biogeographical, and sociocultural setting of the learners, taking into account the demands of the national and global community. The fifth one is the curriculum shall use pedagogical approaches that are constructivist, inquiry-based, reflective, collaborative, and integrative. So, constructivism views learners as active constructors of meaningful knowledge. Inquiry-based learning puts a premium of questioning, investigating, proving, probing, explaining, predicting, and establishing connection of evidences. Reflective learning provides opportunities for learners to collect on what and why they need to learn and how to go about it. Collaborative approach allows learners to share ideas between and among themselves, thus developing the value of cooperation, respect, camaraderie, and tolerance. Differentiation takes into great consideration the different learning styles and multiple intelligences of the learners, which are significant aspects of their individual differences, not only as learners, but also individuals. Finally, integrative pedagogy espouses the importance of connections and relationships of ideas and concepts between and among disciplines. The sixth one is the curriculum shall adhere to the principles and framework of mother tongue-based multilingual education, which starts from where the learners are and from what they already knew, proceeding from the unknown to the unknown, instructional materials, and capable teachers to implement the MTB and MLE curriculum shall be available. The guidelines on the implementation of the MTB and MLE program are further explained. So the seventh one is the curriculum shall use the spiral progression approach to ensure mastery of knowledge and skills after each level. This pedagogical features follows that concepts are introduced at an early age and deepened in succeeding years. The next one is the curriculum shall be flexible enough to enable and allow schools to localize, indigenize, and enhance the same based on their respective educational and social contexts. The production and development of locally produced teaching materials shall be encouraged, and the approval of these materials shall be devolved to the regions and divisions, subject to approved standards and monitoring at the central level. So we come now to the core curriculum. There are 4 tracks in senior high school. These are academic track, technical vocational track, sports and arts, and design track. Academic track has 4 strands, namely science, technology, engineering, and math, or STEM. The second one is the humanities and social sciences, or HUMS. The third one is accounting, business and management, or ABM. And the fourth one is general academic strand or GAS. This means that at grade 11, a student chooses which track to pursue. If he or she chooses the academic, he or she must also choose which strand. If a student intends to go to college after grade 12, that he or she must take the academic track. The college program which he or she wants to enroll in determines which strand to take, which is the STEM, UMS, or ABM. If a senior high school student wants to pursue technical vocational and technical education skills development authority or TESDA, he or she takes the technical vocational track. He or she who is interested in arts and design will pursue the arts and design track. The sports track will be for any sports-minded senior high school student. The senior high school curriculum has a total of 31 subjects. The 31 subjects are grouped into 15 core subjects, 7 contextualized or applied subjects, and 9 specialization subjects. So, here are the tracks in senior high school: the academic, the technical vocational livelihood, sports, arts, and design track. And here are the 4 strands in academic track. These are the accountancy, business and management strand or ABM, humanities and social sciences strand or UMS, science technology, engineering and mathematics strand or STEM, and general academic strand or GAS. So these are the senior high school curriculum core subjects. So in language, there are oral communication, reading and writing, komunikasyon sa pananaliksik sa wika at kulturang Pilipino, pagbabasa at pagsusuri sa iba't ibang teksto tungo sa pananaliksik. And also, in communication, there is media and information literacy. And in humanities, there are 21st century literature from the Philippines and the world, and contemporary Philippine arts from the regions. And in philosophy, there is introduction to the philosophy of the human person. And also in mathematics, there are general mathematics and statistics and probability. And in science, there are earth and life science and physical science. And social science, there are personal development, understanding culture, society, and politics. And lastly, in PE and health, there is physical education and health. In this presentation, these are the contextualized subjects. The contextualized subjects apply to all tracks and strands, but the subjects are taught in the context of the track. For example, English for academic and professional purposes for the technical vocational track will center on technical vocational terms, describing and reporting technical vocational related procedures, while for the sports track, the English subject will focus on the language for sports. Research may be a presentation and defense of a paper and management for ABM track or in STEM, but maybe a culminating activity or exhibit for the arts and design track and end of the term exhibits for the arts and design track. So there are English for academic and professional purposes, research in daily life 1, research in daily life 2, and pagsulat sa Filipino sa piling larangan, sa academic, sports, sining at technical vocational. Empowerment technologies, ICT for professional tracks, entrepreneurship, and research project or culminating activity. So we come now to the specialized track subjects in accountancy, business and management or ABM strand. So they have applied economics, business ethics and social responsibility, fundamentals of accountancy, business and management 1, fundamentals of accountancy, business and management 2, business math, business finance, organization and management, principles of marketing, and the last one is work immersion or research or career advocacy or culminating activity. Example is business enterprise simulation. And also, these are the specialized track subjects in science, technology, engineering, and mathematics or STEM strand. So, these are the pre-calculus, basic calculus, general biology 1, general biology 2, general physics 1, general physics 2, general chemistry 1, general chemistry 2, and the last one is the work immersion, research, career advocacy, or culminating activity. So these are also the specialized track subjects in humanities and social sciences strand or UMS. So they have the creative writing, creative nonfiction, the literary essay, world religions and belief systems, trends, networks and critical thinking in the 21st century, Philippine politics and governance, community engagement, social participation and citizenship, disciplines and ideas in the social sciences, disciplines and ideas in the applied social sciences, and the last one is the work immersion, research, career advocacy, or culminating activity. So here's another one. So these are the specialized track subjects in general academic strand or GAS. So these are the humanities 1, humanities 2, social science 1, applied economics, organization and management, disaster, readiness and risk reduction, elective 1 from any track or strand, elective 2 from any track or strand, work immersion or research, career advocacy, culminating activity. So this elective 1 and elective 2, they are free to choose from what specialized subjects they want to take. It's either from the ABM strand, the STEM strand, and the UMS strand. Also, these are the specialized track subjects in sports track. They have the safety and first aid, human movement, fundamentals of coaching, sports officiating and activity management, fitness, sports and recreational leadership, psychosocial aspects of sports and exercise, fitness testing and exercise programming, the practicum, and the last one is work immersion, research, career advocacy, or culminating activity. And lastly, they have the specialized track subjects in arts and design track. So these are the creative industries 1, arts and design appreciation and production, creative industries 2, performing arts, physical and personal development in the arts, developing Filipino identity in the arts, integrating the elements and principles of organization in the arts, leadership and management in different art fields, apprenticeship and exploration of different art fields, and the last one is the work immersion, research, career advocacy, culminating activity, exhibit for arts production or performing arts production. The K-12 program, or the kindergarten and the 12 years of elementary and secondary education, has been brought to the attention since its first year of implementation. Critics say that its implementation could only worsen the issue on education in the country. Senator Antonio Trillanes IV, a known critic of the program, said that the country appears to be unprepared for the K 12 due to inadequacy in resources, tools, classroom, etc. However, although some people still cannot see its relevance, reforms in the educational system is very much needed in the country. Reforms in the educational system are very much needed in the country. Although difficulties and inadequacies may arise, its benefits in the long run are more significant for the country as a whole. K 12 is the key to the country's national development. In achieving its success, cooperation and the support of all involved are important. The K 12 will not only improve the quality of education, but also the lives of Filipinos. With the job opportunities offered for K 12 graduates, better quality of education for students, and Philippines being at par with other countries, this program is truly beneficial for everyone. That's my presentation, and I hope that you learned something. Thank you.